Live at Ronco Field in Waterboro, Jay Harper along with Jeff Harper, the Thornton Academy Golden Trojans just taking the field. This afternoon they play the hapless Mustangs of Massabesic, 0-7 this year. Thornton Academy 4-3, needing the last two games in the W column to move on to postseason play, or really a shot at it, Jeff.
Yes, they certainly do, and the Thornton Academy Golden Trojans, of course, have lost their last two games, so they are looking for some good, strong momentum to take into that arch-rival contest against the Biddeford Tigers next week.
The field looks in great shape with all the rain we had all week long, especially yesterday, downpour. The field looks excellent, fine drainage here, and that shouldn't bother either team. It's a cool, brisk afternoon, sporadic breeze. And right now, Massabesic getting set to take the field. Why don't we run down the starting lineups for Massabesic on their offensive side, Jeff?
Okay, in the line for Massabesic, Dan Berry, number 63, will be starting at center. Number 65, Larry Whiteley at one guard, and 73, Nate Randall at the other guard. The tackles are Bruce Hill, number 72, and number 64, Matt House. Tight end Jim Neville, number 88. And the wideout is Gannon Perry, number 37. In the backfield, the sophomore, number 7, Clay Conley at quarterback. And the backs, the host of the backs is Jamie Klein, number 29. Scott Pomelo, the quick tailback, number 25. And Tracy Pomelo, number 12, is running out of the wingback slot.
Scott Pomelo there, star of the team. They look to him for a lot of things. He runs the ball, catches it out of the backfield. He does a lot for the Mustangs. Massabesic just taking the field now. We'll run down the defensive starting lineup for the Trojans. At left, defensive tackle, number 76, Rick Topham. At the right side, number 62, Jason Heel, both two-way players. At the right defensive end, number 70, Al Pelletier. At the left defensive end, number 88, Chris Paquette. The linebackers for the Trojans in their 4-4 defense. On the left outside, number 33, Art Laveris. And on the right outside, number 31, Dave Fournier. The middle linebackers, number 46, Guy Pickard, and number 34, Jeff Jerry. In the defensive secondary for the Trojans, free safety, number 44, Doug Goulette. The right cornerback, number 22, Tommy Langstaff. And at the left side, number 18, Matt Cook. PA announcer giving the starting lineups for the Mustangs right now. A sparse crowd this afternoon, a cool day. And with all the rain, we got Biddeford playing tonight at 7 o'clock at Deering's Field. And at 6 o'clock, Sanford and Lewiston playing up at Lewiston. Because of all the rain, they moved it back to give the field more time to dry out.
Yes, and more than just the field, it was just an unfit night for football last night to be a spectator or a player. And they had to play it tonight, and yes, rather than play today, yes, they gave it a few more hours to go to tonight. Let the winds get it, but that could backfire as it is supposed to rain a little bit more later on.
Tackle number 67, Buddy Knight. At end, number 80, Frank Zappala. End, number 81, Troy Chenard.
I believe they're announcing all the seniors out here right now.
This might be the Mustangs' last home game of the season. I don't know where they play next week, but it could be their last home game. 0-7 Mustangs. They've had a few good games. They played close. They played Lewiston tough. They're a young team, very young team, inexperienced. Third year now in Class A. The Trojans going to come out here and take care of business. Put this one in hand and look to arch rival Biddeford next week. That'll be a big one, the Battle of the Bridge.
Paul Callahan, Mark Gagnon, John Moran, and freshman coaches Vincent Emmer and John Morrison. The Mustangs are coached by Mr. Greg Stilfen. Mr. Stilfen is assisted by Andy Soldati, Mike Weatherford, and Joe Bush.
Tri-captains meeting at the center of the field for the coin toss. Number 56, Eric Sargent. Number 44, Doug Goulette. And number 34, Jeff Jerry for the Trojans.
Game. Referee, Red Florent. The umpire, Ben Williams. Field judge, Frank Leach. Line judge, Ted Crowell. And the back judge, Ray Pettit.
figure it out. He's the only one on the field. We'll figure it out. If he's taking the snaps, we know who it is.
Real interesting week in high school football and national news too, of course, in sports. The earthquake in San Francisco, Jeff, and postponing the World Series and the tragedy out there. And this week with all the rain, and Portland right now has a game pending. Their early second game of the year against Westbrook that they won. They had an ineligible player playing for them at the time. The paperwork wasn't in yet, and they're deciding right now whether they're going to have to forfeit that game, and that would really be a blow to the Bulldogs. They've had a fine season, and they're desperately trying to win their last two games to get into the playoffs, and if they have to forfeit one, that could knock them right out of the playoff picture.
Yes, that would certainly be the difference against Thornton Academy had they come down to a tie. If they did come down to a tie, Thornton Academy certainly has its work cut out against them. But Portland, to lose a game that they already played and won early in the season, yeah, that would be a shocker.
And they are trying to get a variance on that and get a waiver on it because the paperwork just got sent in late. Portland, with the construction of this school this year, doing a lot of new construction, everything going on, the paperwork just didn't get in. And even the Westbrook coach said, you know, it was a fair game, and the guy didn't really, you know, cause it to go one or the other. Portland won the game, so we'll wait and see what happens with that. We'll pause now for a national anthem. We're set for high school football on BTV Sports. The 0-7 Massabesic Mustangs taking on 4-3 Thornton Academy Golden Trojans. Massabesic played Thornton up here 2 years ago, Jeff, and they gave Thornton more than they could handle. A loss for them, but they played the Trojans tough. 13-7 was the score in that one. And an 0-7 team is always dangerous because they got nothing to lose, no holes barred. They can use trick plays on the offensive side, go all out, and you know they're hungry.
Well, of course they'd like nothing more than to get a victory here today, and they'll be out there hitting for it. They fumbled a lot this year. I've noted that many of their games fumbling, you know, more than 4 or 5 times.
That has hurt them in a lot of games late in the contest. Key fumbles. A couple of games they could have won this year. They were right in the ball game. Thornton Academy will receive the kickoff. The Trojans will be going left to right. No definite direction in the wind. It's just kind of a sporadic breeze. Back deep, set to receive for the Trojans. In the middle, number 41, Mike Babcock. On the left side, Tom Langstaff, number 22. And on the right side, number 33, Art Laveris. The 3 up men, Doug Goulet, Jeff Jerry, and Dave Fournier. As Scott Pomelo set to kick off for the Mustangs. We're underway. High end-over-end kick fielded by Babcock. He comes straight up the gut, cuts a little bit to the outside. He's met at about the 37-yard line. He gets it out to about the 38-yard line. The Trojans will set up their offense, led by senior quarterback Kevin Goslin.
stop of the Trojans, and you'll see whether or not they do keep it on the ground. I would think that's the convincing wisdom.
1st and 10. Langstaff comes to the near side. He's split wide right. Steves on the left. Goslin on the option. He keeps it. Fighting his way out to near the 40-yard line. Pick up about 2 on the play.
Jamie Klein on the stop leading the way for the Mustangs says they played that option pretty well.
Tom Sharon, number 32, brings the play into Goslin. He comes out split wide right with Langstaff. Double slot formation. I formation in the backfield for the Trojans. Hand off to Babcock to the left. He's got a big hole, breaks through. He's still on his feet. He may go all the way. 1 man to beat. 20, 10. Mike Babcock, his long touchdown run. Finally, he goes 60 yards and the Trojans on top. 2nd play of the game. Mike Babcock, 60 yards. It was a slant off the left side.
Great run.
He got the blocking downfield. And there was his speed and the long touchdown run we've been looking for Mr. Babcock all year.
It looked like they had him about 8 yards off the line of scrimmage. He stumbled, and then there was nobody there to knock him down, and he got himself together again and took off.
Mike Babcock, 60-yard touchdown run, 2nd play of the game. Snaps down, kicks up, and good. Dead center at Laveris. The Trojans jump on top early. They lead the Massabesic Mustangs 7-0. You're watching high school football on PTV.
Well, it took the Trojans exactly 65 seconds to put a 7-0 lead on the board for themselves, and they may never look back. The Mustangs bitten very early.
We've been saying it all year. It's just a matter of time before Mike Babcock breaks a long one. He's had a couple called back on him this year. I believe that's his first official long run. He had a nice 15-yard touchdown run last week against Marshwood, followed by the 2-point conversion. Last week's offensive gutsy player of the game, Mike Babcock, goes 60 yards. 2nd play from scrimmage. 10 minutes, 55 seconds left in the 1st quarter. Art Laveris kicking off. A booming high end-over-end kick. Fielded at the 10-yard line. And brought out to about the 30-yard line. Just short of it at the 29.
Good return by Dan Lambert there as he took the ball, went straight up into the middle, and Massabesic has good field position to start out.
And they're led by sophomore quarterback Clay Conley for the Mustangs. And of course, their senior speedster, Scott Pomelo, and presumably brother Tracy Pomelo, both in the backfield for the Mustangs. Split backfield for the Mustangs. 1st down and 10. Straight handoff.
Handoff to number 33, John Stevenson, picking up 6 yards on the
John Stevenson on the carry for the Mustangs, and he breaks off about a 6-yard gain.
That's the way, making a tackle for the Trojans.
It was a good fake because Conley got tackled after you give him the ball. So you know it was an effective.
That'll bring up a 2nd down and 4.
That's good news.
Split backfield again. Clay Conley, the quarterback.
2nd and about 3 from the 36-yard line.
Handoff. Pomelo.
Handoff to Pomelo, making it to the line of scrimmage.
Little or no gain on the play. Stuffed right there by Al Pelletier and Guy Pickard.
The Mustang 35.
The old 2nd down, the Trojans have been very strong on that last few weeks. Here's the big 3rd down play that the D has to get themselves together here and not let the Mustangs out of this hole.
3rd down and 3 for Massabesic. Split backfield. Again in Perry, number 37, split to the left. I backfield, pitch out to Pomelo. He comes to the near side, makes a nice cut inside. He's got a big hole. And Scott Pomelo picks up about 7 on the play. Had he not lost his footing there, there was a lot of green to the left side.
Some nifty running by Pomelo. Made a nice cut to the inside and skipped his way through. Big 1st down.
He's an excellent back.
Making the tackle, number 21 for the Trojans at the 44. First down for the Mustangs.
First and 10. Handoff right up the middle to Stevenson. Little or no gain. Met there by Al Pelletier. That'll bring up second down and 10 for Massabesic. Ball resting at the 44-yard line. 8 minutes and 36 seconds. Clock moving in the first quarter.
Jason Heald and Al Pelletier doing a fine job holding the left side of that line down on that play.
Straight handoff to Pomelo. He's stuffed right at the line of scrimmage. Maybe a yard loss. Jason Heald and Jeff Jerry, and now a flag goes flying up in the air. And that's usually a personal foul when the play is already over like that. Personal foul. Exactly the call. The Trojans making an early mistake. That would have brought up a third down and 10 for Massabesic as opposed to first down and 10 now. Ball into Thornton Academy territory down at the 40-yard line.
Well, Al Pelletier was in on the stop and was right there on top of the ball carrier as part of that Trojan wall that did a fine job stopping that play. I do not know who the personal foul was called on, though, as they didn't give a number.
First down and 10. Pomelo the deep back in the I formation. Conley fires over the middle. He's got a man wide open, breaking up the middle. Vermette on the reception, a slam in pattern right in front of Matt Cook. And Massabesic picks up 23 yards on that play. The ball will go down to the 22-yard line of the Trojans. First and 10.
Matt Cook caught in a man-to-man. Got ahead of him on that one. He did a fine job in recovering and making the stop.
Split backfield for Massabesic. First down and 10. Pomelo still fighting. And he gains about 10. He'll be close to a Massabesic first down. Massabesic ripping off yardage in big chunks as they get the break on a personal foul against the Trojans.
And now we have second and only 2 yards on the 15-yard line. And the Trojan defense has now got to dig in.
Split backfield. Perry comes in motion. Delayed handoff. And Pomelo pummeled for a 1-yard loss on the play. Art Laveras and Rick Topham in on the stop for the Trojans.
Tackle of the Mustangs. Third and about 3 on the 17-yard line.
Well, I don't believe the quarterback is playing his fake role on that draw play that he just ran. And the Trojan defense right there to pummel Pomelo.
A big third down and 4 for the Mustangs, knocking at the door of the Trojans. Conley, handoff, keeps it. Conley still got it. He's running inside. A nice move. And a flag comes flying in. That'll either be a holding or a face mask penalty. And it's a holding call against Massabesic. That'll march them back. Negate that first down run by Clay Conley. A nice run. I thought he handed off.
Unfortunately for the Mustangs to lose this yardage here because Conley showing some really nice fakes and quickness as he got outside.
He made the handoff to number 33, Sean Stevenson, and looked like he was stopped right at the line of scrimmage, but then Conley broke out of the pack. He pulled that ball out, scrambled down the field, got down to about the 4-yard line, but all going to be negated from the spot of the hold. So that'll only be a loss of 2 on the play from the point of the hold. So Massabesic now has a third down and 6.
He's listed as only a sophomore.
They're a very young team, Massabesic, trying to build a program up here in Waterboro. Third down and 6. Ball just at the 19-yard line. Split backfield, Stevenson and Pomelo. Pomelo goes in motion. Conley, straight drop. He's going to pass. Looks over the middle. fires in there. Art Laveris on the coverage. Tracy Pomelo, the intended receiver.
On the Thornton 19-yard line.
Jeff, I don't know what it is, but I have to get this off my chest. I can't believe everywhere we've gone this year, the PA announcers doing play-by-play action. And back when I used to play football, they'd say the tackle, who made the tackle, and what down it is, and then shut up. But unfortunately, we have to deal with that.
Well, the Thornton Academy field, the old Thornton Academy athletic field, didn't even have a PA back then. And yes, the other fields that did have them would just maybe announce the tackles and maybe who did the scoring.
It's a trend all around the league, not just down here. We've experienced it every place we've gone. Conley firing over the middle. 3 Trojan defenders in there, Jeff, Jerry, Tom Langstaff, and Doug Goulet in there to break that one up, and there'll be a change of possessions. Thornton Academy will take over at their own 19-yard line.
Great pass coverage by the Trojan secondary that time.
Thornton Academy bends but doesn't break as Massabesic moved the ball down the field a good 50, 60 yards before forking it over to the Trojans. First down and 10. Art Laveris up the middle, fighting. Gain of about 4 for Art Laveris.
Caught by Nate Randall on the play. A nice, good, tough drive from Art Laveris, picks up 4 yards the hard way.
The big Trojan offensive line doesn't look like it's going to have much problems at moving the defensive front of Massabesic. Sargent, Fournier, Topham, Heald, Pelletier. The big blocking front line of the Trojans. Babcock comes this way, gets around to tackle. Here he goes again. Mike Babcock, a 50, a 40, 30. He's coasting in. 10, touchdown, Mike Babcock. That's a 76-yard touchdown run. The senior speedster just coasting down the sideline. Broke a tackle, got bunched up 4 yards down the field, came out of the pack and just romped down the sideline. 76 yards, Mike Babcock.
Yes, as the play developed, it didn't look like it was going anywhere. The Massabesic front had it stuffed up. Mike Babcock kind of forcing his way through, hitting his own blockers in front of him. He bounced to the outside, and there was nobody there to stop him.
And the big game that we've been waiting for from Mike Babcock is here in Waterboro. PAT blocked by Scott Pomelo. He broke it up the gut of the middle and blocked the extra point attempt by Art Laveris. But the Trojans break on top, 13-0. 4 minutes, 40 seconds left, first quarter. You're watching Thornton Academy football on BTV.
Well, the Thornton Academy Golden Trojans have now had possession of the football for about 80 seconds today off the first quarter, and Massabesic had it for about 5 minutes, came up short, and the Trojans, using less than a minute and a half, have broken out to a 13-0 lead.
Ironically, Jeff, both times that Thornton Academy had possession on the second play. Mike Babcock going the distance for the touchdown. He did it on the second play of the game, and right there, Art Laveris' 4-yard run, then Mike Babcock going 76 yards for the touchdown.
Well, both the offense and the defense need a good workout today, and looks like the defense is going to get the time.
They got to get their confidence back and get themselves in shape for next week and the Tigers. Dan Lambert on the carry again on the kickoff, and he gets it out to the 31-yard line, where Massabesic will set up shop for their second series. A nice opening drive for Massabesic, being thwarted on their holding call. And they change possessions at the 19-yard line of the Trojans.
Thinking about defensive work for the Trojans this year, I was trying to remember if the Trojan defense has scored any points this year. And I can't recall if they have, and maybe they're due.
Good point. First down and 10. Conley drops straight back. He's looking to pass, firing over the middle, lobs it up. Caught right there by Perry, Gannon Perry on the reception at the 48-yard line of the Trojans. Tom Langstaff got turned around. The ball was underthrown by Clay Conley. Gannon Perry doing a nice job coming back for the ball, catching it and giving the Mustangs a first down at the 48-yard line of the Trojans.
Tom Langstaff appeared to be looking for the ball to carry a lot further. He took off downfield, and when he turned around, the ball had just floated way short.
First down and 10 for Massabesic. They've been able to move the football. Conley on the option. He hands it off. Sean Stevenson. Actually, number 44. John
Basile.
John Basile on the carry. Gains about 9 on the play. Conley got met hard, but he was able to hand off just as he was hit. John Basile rambling for 9 yards. Massabesic on the move, second down and 1. Conley dropping back to pass, looking inside, fires over the middle. Caught, and a flag. No need for the flag, a nice reception. Burnett making the catch for Massabesic as he cut in front of Matt Cook. A nice slant in pattern. And they're going to whistle a penalty against Matt Cook. And that's going to be another first down for Massabesic as they're on a roll. Trojan defense.
Early in the second period, University of Maine leads Connecticut 13-0.
You have the option, you want to take the complete play.
That's the way. He's got to have a first down. It depends on what's going to give you more yardage.
They'll probably decline the penalty and just spot the ball right there at the 30-yard line. Now they're actually tacking on more.
Well, that pass play developed quite clearly. Conley looking right to the left all the way. The receiver just making a slant in pattern there, and he's getting a step. And Matt Cook finding himself have to reach in there. And
well, with that formation, Goulet, the safety, was strong to the other side. And that left Matt Cook single coverage with no help coming from the middle. He made a nice attempt to try to break it up. Hand off to Stevenson. He rambles forward, but he's brought down by Art Laveris and Tom Langstaff. And rips off a nice chunk. Gain of 5 on the play. It'll bring up second down and 5 for the Mustangs. As they got a nice balanced offense going for them. Able to move the football. Vermette comes to the near side. Tracy Pomelo split wide right, split backfield with Stevenson and Scott Pomelo. Conley, the quarterback, comes out, unable to hand off, and there's Chris Paquette grabbing on. Conley able to fight forward, though, and actually get back to the original line of scrimmage.
hello, how do you do?
He was unable to hand it off. Paquette met him as he was trying to make the handoff and ripped him away from Stevenson. Good job by Conley to get back to the line of scrimmage. That'll bring up third down and 5. Almost the same place where their last drive was stopped by the Trojans. A big third down play for Massabesic. Vermette to the near side. Conley drops straight back. He's got some pressure on him. He gets away from it. He's rolling out right, being chased by Topham and Pickard. And Guy Pickard wrestles him down for a 5-yard loss. Help in on that by number 76, Rick Topham.
Good to see the Trojan front line, at least from the standpoint of a Trojan fan, that they're getting in there and putting on the chase. And Conley not having a lot of time to throw. If he doesn't get rid of it right away, he's in for some running.
Well, so far the Trojans bending but not breaking, giving up a lot of yardage, but when they get down into that dead zone, the 20-yard and in, Thornton Academy rising to the occasion. A big fourth down play now. Fourth down and a little over 10. Scott Pomelo goes in motion. We got 2 receivers split to the right side. Conley drops back, looking over the middle. Fires. Intended for Gannon Perry. Falls incomplete. That'll be a change of possessions. The Trojans will take over at their own 24-yard line.
Guy Pickard's eyes got big on that one as that pass went right through his hands. He had a lot of room to go if he had made the catch there.
Trojans come up and stop Massabesic after they moved nicely again downfield. This time the Trojans take over at the 25-yard line. 58 seconds left in the first quarter. Trojans lead 13-0. I formation, handoff Laveris. Laveris breaks out this way. A penalty flag goes down. Laveris gains about 7 on the play.
33-yard line. Penalty flag on the play. Illegal procedure against Thornton.
Little motion penalty against the Trojans. That'll mark them back 5 yards.
Well, the Mustangs, lucky they had 2 men on Art Laveris that time to bring him down, or he was off to the races as he bounced nicely out to the outside to pick up that 7. Of course, it's nullified.
Well, with a penalty, it's still first down, but actually the second play of this series, we'll see if the Trojans go the distance. They have the prior 2 times. Pitch out to Babcock. Cuts inside. Scrambles, still on his feet. Fighting. Not much there. As Massabesic recovers nicely to bring him down. Only a gain of 2 on the play.
Put 3 Mustangs on him that time, and Mike's not getting up right away.
Babcock down on the field. That's going to bring up second down and 13 for the Trojans.
A little bit battered here on that particular play as they really swarmed in on him that time. You can understand why they would.
We got 24 seconds left in the first quarter. Thornton Academy Trojans on top by the feet of the now injured Mike Babcock. He's gone 60 and 76 yards for touchdowns. You're watching high school football on BTV.
140 yards, touchdowns, and 3 carries.
Mike Babcock limps off the field.
Right, exactly.
Appears to be okay.
Babcock goes off the field under his own power.
Second down and 13 for the Trojans. Dennis Steves comes to the near side. He's split out wide to the right. To the far side is Langstaff. Handoff, Laveris. He's got a hole if he can get a block. Scott Pomelo gets off that. He's going down the field and being wrestled out of bounds at midfield.
Great run by Art Laveris. He bounced to the outside again, just ran out of a little room. They had the angle on him out there as Pomelo came up on him quickly and put a hand on him. He broke that tackle, but that was enough to slow him down so that the others could catch him.
That was just 1 block away from going the distance. Dennis Steves doing a nice job getting in the way of Pomelo, but had he been able to hit him hard and knock him outside, Laveris could have cut in and probably would have went the distance, but he had to go around Pomelo, got by him, and then Jamie Klein able to knock him out of bounds just shy of midfield. Ball resting at the 49-yard line of the Trojans, first down and 10. Handoff Goulet, replacing Babcock. No gain. Tackled by Dan Barry.
That exchange wasn't quite smooth on that handoff and slowed Goulet down a little bit as he hit the line.
Doug Goulet in for Mike Babcock at the tailback slot. That'll bring up second down and 9 for the Trojans. Langstaff to the near side, Dennis Steves wide left.
Quarter's over.
Handoff, Laveris, no, he's still got a Goulet on the pitch out. He's getting a block out there, cuts inside nicely, still going. Rolls being brought down at the 30-yard line.
Matt House, number 64, making the tackle, and Thornton Academy first, and 10 from the Mustangs, 31.
The time's off the clock. It was off the clock before that play even went off, but the officials never whistled it. I don't know what's going on, if they're going to change sides now or not. Doug Goulet, actually Kevin Goslin doing a great job on the option play. Pulled it away from Laveris and got the pitch out to Goulet.
Obviously no gun or whistle here. The clock was definitely up before that play started. Nothing happened.
We would like to remind the sports fans that the clock is being kept on the field. The scoreboard clock is the unofficial clock. The official clock is kept by the officials on the field.
Back at Ronco Field in Waterboro, second quarter action about to begin. Thornton Academy leading 13-0. Jay Harper along with Jeff Harper. High school football on BTV. We just got the explanation from our ever-present PA announcer. The official clock is down on the field, being kept by the officials this afternoon, and the board clock is the unofficial clock, so that was the reasoning for that play still being able to go off right before the first quarter ended. Doug Gillette on a nice run, gained 15 on the play. Thornton Academy has the ball at the 31-yard line of the Mustangs. Thornton Academy been able to move on the ground at will this afternoon. Goslin has not had to go up in the air, but you might want to practice Kevin Goslin's arm for next week's big contest. 1st and 10. Handoff Laveris, nothing doing there. He's dragged down for a 2-yard loss.
33, out Laveris. Tackled behind the line of scrimmage.
Trying to take the tacklers with him.
Sean Stevenson
Number 33, Sean Stevenson. Second down.
and Matt Howes in on the stop for Massabesic. And that'll bring up 2nd down and a long 11 for the Trojans. Babcock still out of the lineup. Doug Gillette replacing him at tailback. Dennis Steves brings the play into Goslin. 2nd down and a long 11 for the Trojans. Ball at the 33-yard line of Massabesic. I formation in the backfield. Double slot right. Drop play to Gillette. Gillette running high. Gain of about 6 on the play.
A lot of room through those green jerseys there as Gillette picks up a nice 6 yards on the play.
Pick up about 4 as Matt Howes and Dan
11 minutes left, 2nd quarter.
3rd and 8 from the Mustangs.
It's going to bring up a 3rd down and 7 for the Trojans. They send Tom Sharon and Tom Langstaff both wide right. I formation in the backfield, Gillette and Laveris. Goslin, a straight drop, looking over the middle, fires, deflected, then caught by Tom Langstaff, and then he's hit hard. Scott Pomelo will use it again, pummeling Tom Langstaff. Ball bounced through the hands of Tracy Pomelo, caught by Tommy Langstaff right behind him, and then met by Scott Pomelo. Enough to give them a 1st down, a gain of 9 on the play. 1st down and 10 for the Trojans at the 16-yard line of Massabesic. I formation. Handoff Laveris up the middle.
Straight dive for Laveris, not much there, as that was the first passing attempt for Goslin before that of the day, and one he might wanted to have taken back. It worked out for the better as they picked up the big 1st down, and now they inside the 15-yard line.
Very nearly picked off by Tracy Pomelo. 2nd down and 7 for the Trojans. Gillette on the option. He's going to keep it. Cuts back inside nicely. Fights forward. Gets it down to about the 5-yard line. He'll be close to a 1st down. It appears he'll have enough for a 1st down. Clock moves as the chains move. Thornton Academy. 3 possessions so far this afternoon. The prior 2 resulting in touchdowns by Mike Babcock. And this one a more sustained drive for the Trojans, and they're knocking at the door again.
The Mustangs have taken a timeout here, and evidently they want to put something together defensively before this game gets it too much further out of reach.
The Mustang defense trying to regroup. Trojans knocking at the door, ball at the 6-yard line. Thornton Academy leads 13-0. You're watching high school football on VTV.
That's not a given, though. No, it's not. Marshwood has been giving up a lot of points lately. I mean, they started out the season blowing everybody out of the water.
Coach Agresti on the field talking with his offense. They got themselves 1st down and goal to goal now. Enjoying a comfortable 13-0 lead. Sun breaking out at Ronco Field. Cool afternoon. But we've been real lucky so far this year. Besides the first game of the year up in Lewiston where we got poured on, Jeff, we've had some fine weather throughout the season. Especially last week, so late in the season and a beautiful morning.
Well, we have totally overcast skies right now, and the sun is peeping out, but we have a threat of rain for the afternoon. It is cool, but it is football weather.
1st down and goal to go. Power backfield for the Trojans. Handoff Laveris, fighting off the right side. He'll be close to the goal line. Following the blocking of Eric Sargent, Jason Heald, and Al Pelletier. He gets down, we'll call it the 2-yard line. 2nd and goal to go. Power backfield with Gillette, Laveris, and Jeff Jerry. Handoff again, Laveris to the right side, touchdown. Art Laveris, Trojans up 19-0. Just following the fine blocking on the right side
his nose for the goal line. Cut to the right side and just saw that line and took it in there. Got what he needed.
Art Laveris changes his shoe, puts on the kicking one, and gets set to line up the PAT. Trojans on top, 19-0. 9 minutes, 28 seconds left in the first half. Trojans trying to oil the offense and get it ready for next week for the big showdown with the Tigers. Goulet does the holding. High snap. Yes, they're going to fake it. Goulet rolls out to the right. Looking, throws back towards Chris Paquette. He's got it at the end of the end zone. 2-point conversion made good.
You gotta like it, Jay.
I'm not sure if that was pre-planned or not. What do you think?
Well, the way Gosselin popped right up, it could have been a high snap, and he decided that he was going to do that, but it looked very nice how he rolled out patiently, and Paquette came right across in the deep end zone. I think Gosselin may have had 2 or 3 different receivers he could have tried to hit, and he just lofted it out there. Paquette all alone for 2.
Trojans up 21-0, making up for the missed PAT, the one that was blocked. And they got a perfect 21-0 score. That reminded me of Joe Montana to Dwight Clark in the end of the end zone against the Dallas Cowboys a few years back. Actually, quite a few now. Remember it vividly, though. Nice play by Kevin Gosselin. He did roll out patiently, had a lot of pressure on him, just kept waiting and waiting. Paquette saw him in trouble and just broke across the back of the end zone. And Gosselin lofted it complete. Art Laveris lining up the kickoff. Back deep to receive. 25, Scott Pomelo, along with Dan Lambert, number 30. Number 30, Dan Lambert, right at the goal line, at the 1-yard line, bringing it out. He's up to the 20, boom, net right there. Tom Sharon, along with Guy Pickard, on the stop for the Trojans. And Dan Lambert's brought back all the kickoffs this afternoon. He gets it out to the 21-yard line, ball just over the 20-yard line, where Massabesic will set up. They've had poor field position all afternoon. They've moved the football, but been unable to get the pigskin across the goal line. They trail 21-0. Stevenson and Pomelo in the backfield. They hand off to Pomelo. Fights forward for about 3.
Well, the Mustangs have not had to punt today. They've moved the ball right into deep into Trojan territory both times they've had the football, but have stalled. And it's alarming to the Trojan defense that they have not been able to halt one of these drives and force a punt.
This is true. The defense needs to work. Need to watch their keys and get fired up. This season is not over by any means for the Trojans. Still have playoff hopes alive. 2nd down and 7 now for Massabesic. And I believe that'll be too much time as a flag goes down on the field. We got 8 minutes and 18 seconds unofficially left in the first half. No, the penalty is being called offside against the Trojans. The Trojan defender must have lined up offsides.
Before the snap encroachment call.
And that'll bring up 2nd down and 1 for Massabesic. Ball at the 29-yard line. Tracy Pomelo comes split to the near side. Vermette on the other side. Handoff right there. Stevenson breaks free. Doug Goulet dragging him down by the ankles. But not before he picks up 6 in a Mustang first down.
36-yard line. Doug Goulet making the tackle for the Trojans.
Mustang front line just doing a fine job of opening the holes on this right side.
Very surprised they're able to move Al Pelletier and Jason Heald. They've mixed it up and they've had a nice offensive attack. 1st down and 10. Movement on both sides.
The Trojan defense was shuffling, I believe, and they were not across the line.
They didn't hit anybody. They have still time to get back, so that will be against the Mustangs as the official confirms our beliefs. And the 5 yards back. Bring up 1st down and 15 for Massabesic. They're facing a long uphill battle, trailing 21-0. 7 minutes, 35 seconds left in the first half. Trojans have had the football 3 times this afternoon, and all 3 resulting in touchdowns.
So it'll be 1st and 15,
Conley drops straight back, looking off to the side, fired out there. Nice coverage by Dave Fournier, and the ball thrown high for number 88, Brian Tutt.
Not a wise pass.
Jimmy Neville, the intended receiver.
Conflicting numbers. The PA announcer going with Neville. We'll say that was Jim Neville, number 88. Our program lists Brian Tutt, but we've got to change the numbers on that. That's going to bring up second down now and 15 for Massabesic. Ball at the 30-yard line. Pomelo comes in motion to the near side. Vermette's out here along with Perry. Fired over the middle to Perry. Perry wasn't looking in. He was open. And had he caught that on his way through, he might have been off to the races to the left side. Matt Cook and Dave Fournier both converging to the inside.
Well, Conley had Jeff Jerry right in his face as he backpedaled to unload that pass. He may not want to, he wanted to wait just a second more, perhaps, but he couldn't. Jerry had him on the ground.
Perry wasn't even looking back at his quarterback yet. Vermette comes to the near side. Got some motion again. They're going to let that one go. Oh, the handoff met right there. I don't even know if he's... Conley's trying to hand it off, and he's being tackled. Who was in on that?
Al Pelletier stuffed that play.
All the way over from his left side. He was tackling the back before he even got the handoff, Jeff. Conley stuck it in as he was being tackled. Luckily, he held on to that. Massabesic punting. Porter with a punt. A high end-over-end kick. Takes a nice bounce. Langstaff trying to pick it up. He touches it. That ball's going to be free, and Massabesic is on top of it. They got the turnover. Ball down at the 26-yard line of the Trojans. Cardinal sin by Tom Langstaff. Let the ball bounce in front of him. They took a big, big bounce and then unwisely tried to recover it. It hit his knees and bounded away. And Massabesic able to get on top of it. And the player that did got his wind knocked out from when he landed on the football, Jeff. He's down on the field, but apparently just wind loss. That old thing, just wind loss. If you've ever had the wind knocked out of you, it's not just wind loss. You're struggling for a few minutes down on the field.
Certainly not. It is practically a near-death experience.
Definitely is. You're just waiting for your breath to come back, and you don't know if it is. And again in Perry on the recovery, up off the field and okay. A fine play to get on top of that football as it hit Langstaff's knees and bounded away, and he was all over the ball. Massabesic gets a big turnover. They got the ball at the 26-yard line of the Trojans. Unofficially 6 minutes, 28 seconds left in the first half. Massabesic with their best field position of the day. They've had the ball further into Thornton Academy territory on their own moves, but taking over on first down at the 26-yard line.
Well, the Trojans put together their best defensive front of the day and stopped them and forced that punt, and now they're back on the field.
Tracy Pomelo to the near side, home coverage, Tommy Langstaff. Handoff to Stevenson, rolls forward for about a 1.5-yard gain. Dave Fournier in on the stop for the Trojans along with Guy Pickard. And that'll bring up second down and 9 now.
It appears the Trojan defensive front has figured out the running game and is getting increasingly stronger against that run. So Massabesic, the Mustangs, I think, would have to come up with something a little special here if they want to get in the end zone.
Okay, Tracy Pomelo comes out split to the near side, gets single coverage with Tommy Langstaff. Conley drops back, looking over to the left side, fires into the middle. Vermette covered by Matt Cook. And Greg Parody in for Art Laveris at the outside linebacker position. Both in on the stop. The only thing, Conley, he seems to do a nice job passing, but he gives away his receiver too soon, Jeff. He drops back and he's solely looking at one man. If you're a defensive secondary or a linebacker for the Trojans, all you have to do is read the eyes of Clay Conley, and you know where he's going with the football.
Yeah, so it's a tough development for a young quarterback to be able to progress to that point where they can look the coverage away and then make the pass. But that pass was just thrown high, and he got it down in the gut. He might have had a reception.
Vermette and Gannon Perry both to the near side. Scott Pomelo comes in motion to the same side. 3 backs, fired over the middle, picked off by Jason Heald. Defensive tackle into the backfield and does a great interception. Jason Heald reading the eyes of Clay Conley nicely. He come out of his defensive tackle position and picked that one off.
Nice grab, and there was some running room there, and he He may have seen it, but I don't know where Gannon Perry, who was in the flats, made a nice stop on him. Or he could have had a nice, interesting little run back.
That would have been fun. The ball intended for Scott Pomelo over the middle. Massabesic flooded the middle zone, but Jason Heel getting off the defensive tackle and getting back 4 or 5 yards and making the interception. Whoa, a big hit out there. Number 63 for Massabesic, crushing Doug Goulet on the sweep. Dan Barry for Massabesic, a big hit. And Goulet takes his helmet off and shakes his head. Says, yes, sirree.
Well, the Mustangs are a good hitting team. They gang tackle a lot, and they throw themselves right into the play.
And Doug Goulet getting a lot of action at tailback position. We have no word as of yet on Mike Babcock, but hopefully it's not anything serious. Babcock enjoying his best game of the season, over 100 yards in his first 2 carries, but unfortunately getting injured late in the first quarter, and Trojans will definitely want him in their backfield next week against the Tigers. Pitch out to Goulet on the option. He's got some running room, a good block out there. A nice block, Tom Sherry got back in there. I don't know what the flag is on that one. He got back up and made a great block.
And a beautiful cut outside by Goulet. He did a fine job picking up extra yardage on that play when it looked like they had him stuffed.
They threw the flag right at Sharon, and that has me baffled. The below the knees block, that's a rule that came into play a number of years back, and one that throws to my memory off a little bit, but I guess you can't block below the knees or...
On a downfield situation, or... I thought that was just kickoffs and punts.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So did I. And unfortunate. Great effort by Tom Sharon. He got the block, and the other man was getting back up trying to make the tackle. Tracy Pomelo, number 12. And Sharon just jumped up at him again and cut him down at the knees. It was perfectly in front of him. It wasn't a behind block. It must be one of those rules. Downfield blocking. I don't know.
I didn't even see the block. I concentrating on the fine running.
Doug Goulet reading the block nicely, getting outside of Sharon on the first block attempt. But when he got back up to knock him down again, the flags came flying in. Both officials saw that one. Second down and 16 for the Trojans. Goulet, Goslin fires over the middle. Great catch by Tom Langstaff. Pomelo, he cuts across him. Got some blocking. Dennis Steves leading the way. Tommy Langstaff, see you later. Touchdown, Tom Langstaff. 71 yards, great blocking, Dennis Steves on Scott Pomelo, and a nice cut back across field by Tom Langstaff. Goslin fired it in. Langstaff went up high and made a fine catch.
He says sorry about that mishandled punt, makes a tremendous catch, and then cuts back against the grain and just wins the foot race to the end zone.
Dennis Steves doing a good job getting in front of Scott Pomelo, enabling Tom Langstaff to get around him and just beating him into the end zone. And the day of the big play so far in the first half, Trojans 3 plus 60-yard plays. A high snap again. This one wasn't planned. Goslin rolling around, hanging back there. Fires to the corner. Nobody there. But Kevin Goslin having a good time back there, rolling all over the place, hanging out. And threw it in the direction of Chris Paquette and Guy Pickard. I don't know if Guy Pickard's an eligible receiver in that situation, but I would think he was. He was in the end zone and looking for the football. The 2-point conversion comes up, no good. But the Trojans on top, 27-0. 3 minutes, 44 seconds left in the half. You're watching high school football on BTV. Back at Ronco Field in Waterboro, Jay Harper along with Jeff Harper. An exciting first half if you're a Trojan fan. They've had 3 big plays and nice plays. They've all been some good blocking by down fielders on the plays. On the 2 runs by Babcock, he got some nice blocking downfield. On that one by Langstaff, Dennis Steves able to just get enough of Scott Pomelo, getting Langstaff around him and into the end zone. 71-yard touchdown pass. Kevin Goslin to Tom Langstaff. At Laveras, a nice booming kick. And that sails over the head of Lambert. And the Mustangs will take over at their own 20-yard line, trailing 27-zip. They've been bitten by the big play bug, something the Trojans were bitten by last week. because Massabesic really hasn't played that bad of a first half.
Well, they've moved the football real well. Their last attempt being stopped by Jason Heald's interception. And of course, they were stopped right down and deep in Trojan territory a couple of times. Only punted once and got the football back. It's been the Trojans' speed. They've finally been able to showcase that speed this afternoon with Babcock and Langstaff doing some long scores.
1st and 10 now for Massabesic. Conley on the option, pitch out to Pomelo. Dave Fournier fights off the block and makes a nice tackle. Dave Fournier fighting off the block and diving out and grabbing Pomelo by the ankles and bringing him down with help from Pickard and Langstaff.
Super job by number 31, Dave Fournier, as he came right up, stuffed that blocker, forced that play to be right in front of him, and was right there the first man to make the stop.
He had a big game last week against Marshwood, Dave Fournier, the other gutsy player of the game. Of course, at the conclusion of this contest, we'll be picking our gutsy players of the game, sponsored by Wagner's Market, 188 Lincoln Street in Saco. Of course, that entitles the player to a gut bomb sandwich. 2nd down now, handoff to Pomelo. Not much there. Al Pelletier right in there on the stop, along with Guy Pickard again. Guy Pickard having a good afternoon. Actually, that was Jeff Jerry, number 34. And that sets up 3rd down and 8 now for Massabesic. Officials calling a timeout down on the field.
Well, if I was in that Massabesic huddle, I would expect some kind of an outside pass play. They have had some open men cutting across towards the middle of the field.
Something we really didn't mention, Jeff, on that pass catch from Goslin to Langstaff. What a great catch he made. He went up high for that. It was outstretched to make that catch, and it was fired in there by Goslin. It was rifled in there. Langstaff doing a great job of getting in. Conley back deep. He's got a man open. There's a penalty flag. Matt Cook's going to be whistled for pass interference. He was lost on that play.
He bumped him.
And Vermette came wide open. Luckily, he didn't pick up the football because it would have been a penalty negated. Because if Vermette had hauled that in, he was down the sideline. And that'll give Massabesic the 1st down on a big 3rd down play. Trojan defense, a little shaky this afternoon. They've been giving up a lot of yardage and some bad penalties. They've had some big mistakes on their defensive side this afternoon. Personal foul, a couple of pass interference.
The last couple of times out, though, they had seemed to have solved that Massabesic offense and putting a stop on them.
Vermette to the near side. Gannon Perry wide left. Conley on the option. He pitches it out to Stevenson. Stevenson meets the Thornton Academy defensive team.
Very late, dangerous pitch by Conley. But he had people in his face, and he shuffled it out quick to the outside. That's one of those big plays for the defense, opportunity that they could take it the other way.
Met out there by Doug Roulette, Jeff Jerry, Greg Parody, and Chris Paquette. All 4 converged on Pomelo. Now, Stevenson actually was the carrier, number 33. Brought him down. That's going to bring up 2nd down and a long 12 for the Mustangs. Tracy Pomelo comes split to the near side. He split way wide. Tom Langstaff's got sole coverage on him. Delayed handoff to Pomelo. He's fighting off a couple of tacklers. Brought down by number 34, Jeff Jerry.
Up about 1 yard. It'll be 3rd down and 11 from the Mustang 36-yard line. Jeff Jerry making a tackle.
Parody in on that stop as well.
Greg Parody seeing a lot of action this afternoon. It appears Coach Agresti resting Art Laveras on the defensive side today and giving Greg Parody some valuable experience at that outside linebacking position, the rover linebacker, as we used to call him.
Time is running out on Massabesic. Unofficially 40 seconds left in the 1st half.
Pomelo comes in motion to the near side. Vermette's Gannon Perry split out here. Pomelo doing the S. He's bombing it up. A lobber pass. Everyone's there as they all converge at the same time. The Trojans aggressively going after that one. And that'll bring up 4th down and 11 for the Massabesic Mustangs.
Really, basically, the ball wasn't thrown far enough. If Conley could have done a little more on the ball, because he's passing into a strong wind, so you can't blame him that much. if he could have got a little bit more on the ball.
Jamie Porter doing the punting for the Mustangs. Coach Agresti using a timeout, maybe wanting one last chance at putting some more points on the board. Not taking any chances this afternoon. Get this one in the W column. Get the players home, get them healthy, and get them ready for the Tigers.
Yeah, exactly. I imagine even if Mike Babcock is prepared to play more today, that maybe they just leave him out and rest him up because he is not needed. He's had a heck of a day already with his 3 carries, gaining over 140 yards.
76 and a 60-yard touchdown run.
The only loss the Trojans had
Impressive, impressive run. And Babcock having the big afternoon we've been waiting for him to have, knowing that he had the ability. He got it all in the first quarter. And now getting a rest. Hopefully nothing serious on the injury. We'll try to check on that at halftime for our own personal knowledge.
Thornton was undefeated at the time, I should say, and Biddeford came back and
4th down and 11 now. Doug Goulet, the lone back to receive the punt. Big pressure being put on him. A high, booming kick. Nice kick. Goulet calls for the fair catch. Makes it at the 35-yard line. Trojans will take over. What a booming kick by Jamie Porter. He got that ball way up in the air.
Good rush by the Trojan front, too, and he didn't have a lot of time to get that off. And, yes, he got it right up there into the wind. And going against the wind, actually. And Trojan ball at the 35.
Thornton sent 10 men in to try to block that punt. Goslin just a straight handoff to Art Laveras up the middle, breaks a tackle. He's got 10, he's got 12, and he's got a Trojan first down at the 47-yard line, and he appears to be shaken up just a bit.
The Mustangs hit hard. They hit like they want to hurt people.
Chains people awful slow over there moving the chains. They finally get set up. 1st down and 10 for the Trojans. I formation. Goslin drops straight back. He's got some pressure coming in. Fires down the sideline for Langstaff. Tracy Parmelo, number 12, on the coverage. And you saw the burst of speed right there by Tom Langstaff. That ball was up in the air, and he sees it, and he puts it in overdrive. He almost caught up to that football.
There's Goslin out, overthrew, and he's got one more play here to see if he can make something happen, or if they're going to try to put one more tally on the board.
Well, if you're Coach Agresti, you want to get as many points here in the first half and hopefully be able to rest your starters for next week's game in the final contest of the year and give some 2nd and 3rd stringers some valuable experience and playing time. Goulet comes in motion this way. Handoff straight up the middle to Laveras. He gains about 5 up the middle.
So they run it out for the first half.
And there's a timeout down the field. There's still time on the field. The clock's out, but as we said earlier, the official clock being kept by the officials down on the field. We don't know how much time left. Not many seconds, presumably. And Trojans will take one more shot at it. Coach Agresti walks out to talk with Kevin Goslin and the offense.
Well, definitely offensively, they'd like to get some people in and rest up that offense and try some different things. Defensively, they may want to keep that first team in and keep trying to work out some bugs and try to work on that secondary and get their coverage down, because the Tigers come in next week with a lot of offensive weaponry, and they're going to come gunning. And if they're not prepared for that, then...
That's a definite understatement. Tigers have some weaponry. They have a fine offensive assault. Tigers playing tonight at Deering. 7 o'clock game. They're at 6-1, looking to move to 7-1 before next week's showdown. Goslin facing a 3rd down and 6. Not much time left in the first half. Goulet comes in motion this way. Steves split out here. Langstaff to the other side. Steves does a curl, and he's got a lot of pressure, Goslin. He's still fighting back there, and he's going to be sacked. And that'll probably run out in the first half.
Well, the Trojan front didn't hold up for Kevin Gosling. He had a zone flooded out here with a definite mismatch. A couple of receivers and only one man to cover him.
And that's the end of the first half. The Thornton Academy Golden Trojans leading the Massabesic Mustangs 27-0. You're watching high school football on BTV. I got a headache, so crowd this afternoon. Trojans enjoying one of their best games of the afternoon. They've had the big plays working for them today. They lead the Massabesic Mustangs 27-0. And for Massabesic's defense, they haven't played that bad. Just like the Trojans last week against Marshwood, being bitten by the big play bug. Trojans breaking off touchdown runs to start the game. Mike Babcock going 60 yards, comes back the second play in the second series going 76 yards. And then the sustained drive by the Trojans, Jeff, where they march it down the field. Art Laveras going in from 3 yards out, getting his touchdown. And then Tom Langstaff on the completion from Kevin Gosling going 71 yards for the touchdown. The Trojans, all their backs getting at least one touchdown today. Babcock getting 2 in the first quarter on big runs. Thornton Academy just has their offense working for them.
As far as offensively, the Trojans have been totally successful. They got stopped once at the end of the half when they ran out of time. The time ended. Trojans had the football. That was the only time Massabesic shut them down this afternoon as far as the Trojan offense is concerned. A+ first half. Trojan defense, however, they had a tough time with the Massabesic. Kept a goose egg up there on the scoreboard, though. They gave up a lot of yards, but came up with some big plays when it counted and sit on a 27-0 lead.
Well, a couple bad notes for the Trojans, something we'll have to check on, of course, is the injury to Mike Babcock. He went down late in the first quarter after his first time, limped off the field. Didn't look too serious, but we don't know yet. Of course, that'll be major for the Trojans if they lose him for the final game against the Tigers and any playoff hopes that the Trojans have. Hopefully that's not too bad. And the other thing, of course, is their defense. Yes, they've given up a lot of yards today. They've had some big penalties against them, and still the secondary shaky. They've been shaky out there on some of the pass plays. They've had a couple of pass interference plays. They got to work on that. The Tigers can throw the football relentlessly. Goulet over there for the Tigers, one of the best quarterbacks in the state. He's one of the leading candidates for the Fitzy, along with, of course, Knight for Marshwood. So Trojans got to get their defense together and get ready for next week's big showdown.
They certainly do. They've got a lot of work ahead of them this afternoon as far as finding the right formula back there for shutting that down. Maybe the pass rush needs a little more pressure in to help out that secondary. But the receivers today for Massabesic have been open occasionally. There's been a couple of interception chances the Trojans have missed on. Jason Heel coming out with a big interception there that stopped one of the Massabesic drives when the Mustangs picked up the ball after an error on a punt, fielding the punt. So next week is next week. This week I would expect the second half that the Trojans get a lot of guys in on offense, mix in some different changes on defense and get a lot of rest, but don't take anything for granted. Come right out here and keep hitting the Mustangs the way they've been doing it.
Yeah, it's good late in the season, that the Trojans' second stringers should get some good playing action in this second half, and that'll be good for them for next year and good for themselves to, get out there and work on the things that they need to in the second half. Trojans up 27-0. It's just been an exciting first half. The big touchdown runs, it's been a lot of fun to watch and been some good blocking downfield on all the runs. Jay Harper along with Jeff Harper will be back with second half action. Of course, you're enjoying high school football on BTV. Should we go find out what's the situation? I'm going to go down and get something. Want something?
The Sanford game at Lewiston. Redskins scheduled to play last night. That's today, tonight we should say, at 6 p.m. to kick off. South Portland at Westbrook. That's a 1:30 kickoff today. Now, if South Portland wins, they will virtually clinch the playoffs. But it's hard to surmise potential playoffs because you always have an upset. But if you had it, Washington, Biddeford, and South Portland, you have Biddeford hosting South Portland playoffs. It'd be ironic because last year was South Portland hosted Biddeford in 2 games, regular season and playoffs. Well, Biddeford hosted them. You got to see South Portland in the third or fourth week of the season against the Tigers. You got to see that one. Not very well, but South Portland.
Portland's a good team. But Biddeford was better, and I think Biddeford is better.
All right, Biddeford will take on Deering tonight. That'll be a 7 p.m. kickoff. Let's take a 2-minute break. We've got an interview with Mike Landry, the Biddeford Tiger head coach, coming up. We'll take a 2-minute break. Back with more of our halftime right after this.
Thankfully, it only does it on the first rip.
Yes.
It doesn't keep doing it, thank God, but still. We try to do a tape, like that, what's his name, Evan Nevada.
Oh, Evan.
Messes it all up. You hear it right when you do the tape. They do a nice job.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Thornton Academy Golden Trojan Marching Band.
Back at Ronco Field in Waterboro, Thornton Academy Golden Trojans enjoying a large margin. They're up 27-0 over the Mustangs of Massabesic. Jeff Harper along with Jeff Harper bringing you this afternoon's action. And a big, exciting first half. The big play for the Trojans, breaking off touchdowns of 60, 76, and 71 yards, along with a 3-yarder by Art Laveris. Sun breaking out at Ronco Field, concluding our halftime festivities. A couple of birthdays to mention this week. Chris Paquette, fine two-way star for the Trojans, tight end and defensive end. only a junior, has a birthday tomorrow. His family wants to wish him a happy birthday, a happy 17th to Chris Paquette. And also Kevin Gobiel, number 11 for the Trojans, also a junior, quarterback, defensive back. He has a birthday this week on Tuesday, and all the Trojan fans wishing those two a happy birthday. Second half action. If you're Massabesic, what do you do, Jeff? You're down 27-0. You're 0-7.
Well, you'd really be at odds with what you can do defensively to stop the Trojan offensive attack. Offensively, they've got to use some of their more secretive or something just out of the hat when they get down close, because they've been able to move the football. They've done fine on that. They've mixed it up well, although the Trojans late in the second half seem to have stopped their running game completely. The passing game is still there. Being down 27-0 and being 0-7, why not just come right out and throw the football every time out, and then mix in some draw plays that would keep the defense off balance, and hopefully you could just outscore your opposition.
I expect Coach Agressi to come out with the starters to open up the third quarter and hope to get another touchdown on the board quickly, and then go to his bench and give all his players some action and give the starters a rest before next week's showdown with the Tigers, the Battle of the Bridge. Looking forward to that one. Thornton Academy not on the field yet. Massabesic's team has been here for about 5 minutes now, and Thornton Academy may get a delay of game penalty. They did against Portland, if I remember correctly, at halftime of that contest. They came out late, and the officials flagged them for delay of the game, and 5-yard penalty on the kickoff. Not a major deal, but still. And here come the Trojans now, as we speak.
Well, the Trojans, Coach Dick Agresti learned against Sanford that maybe you can't substitute wholesale and put in your players too early, as the Redskins did not do that, and they kept their first team in throughout the game, even though it seemed that the Trojans were well ahead of the Redskins and had the game well in control. And Sanford did not sub and started scoring some points and made the game a lot closer than it really was. Made the score look that way anyway. So I would expect the whole third quarter would be the starters to put some points on the board, and then maybe use the fourth quarter for some substitutions.
Trojans loosening up, and officials giving them the time. I don't know if they're going to get their exercise in time before the half. Trojans 4-3, trying to move to 5-3, and then at home next week against Biddeford, needing a victory to come in at 6-3 and hope to get in the playoffs. The situation boils down to this. Marshwood, more than likely, everyone expecting, of course, anything can happen in high school football, but more than likely with Portland this week, and then finishing up the season, look to go undefeated. They'll come in at the number 1 slot, and they'll play the number 4 team, whoever it is. Number 2, more than likely, will be Biddeford, because South Portland has 2 losses already, and even if the Tigers lose to Thornton the last week of the year, they'd be 7-2 or 8-1, and they have beaten South Portland this year, so they'd be the number 2 team. Number 3 team more than likely will be South Portland, and then the number 4 team's either Portland or Thornton Academy at this point. Of course, Cheverus still has a shot with their only 3 losses. If they could win their last 2 games, they still have a hope if Thornton Academy loses one of theirs. But Thornton, if they win their 2 and end up 6-3, they beat Cheverus, and we're hoping that Portland loses to Marshwood today to give them their 4th loss, and then that'll give Thornton Academy the 4th and final playoff spot, which would mean they'd have to travel down to Elliott and play Marshwood in the first round of the playoffs. No small chore right there.
Definitely not an easy thing to do, and that's why I would expect the Portland Bulldogs to take a good beating down there in Elliott today. But Portland is a tough team, and had Marshwood be heading into Portland to play the Bulldogs, I would give them a strong chance of upsetting the Hawks.
I agree with you definitely on that one, but down in Marshwood, the Hawks have won something like 57 or 58 in a row at home, just an incredible amount. So they look to be real tough, as Portland has to travel to Elliott today, facing the Hawks. But one of their games still in the balance, Jeff, was we were mentioning earlier, the SPA ruling this week. They had one of their players transfer from Deering, and normally you have to sit out a year if you transfer, but you can get a waiver, and all you have to do is send in the paperwork to the SPA, and they kind of easily give that waiver. It's not a big deal, and the principal and the coach of Portland got the paperwork late, second week of the season, after the game, and sent it in after the Westbrook game. They lost the first game against Biddeford. That's why that one's not in jeopardy. You're not going to forfeit a game you already lost anyway. but he got it in after the second week, so that game's in jeopardy. Supposedly you have to have that paperwork in the waiver in form, but the coach sent it in late. They weren't trying to hide anything, but just late in getting it in, and they're trying to say that with the construction of the school and all the crazy things going on, trying to get their school open in time, that caused them to just get the paperwork in late. So the SBA has a ruling, hopefully for Portland Bulldog people, that they don't have to forfeit the game, that they played well and won. So that situation we'll find out probably this week.
It would be sweet for the Trojans if they were able to use that as a way to get in, but they've got to beat Biddeford first and hold on to this one here today. And I don't think it's even a question. But definitely an interesting story.
Jamie Klein set to kick off for Massabesic. We're ready for second half action on BTV Sports. A short end-over-end kick fielded by Chris Paquette at the 25-yard line. Comes this way, cuts inside, and rambles forward to about the 44-yard line. Where Thornton Academy will set up shop for their opening drive of the second half.
Nice run by Chris. He cut right up the middle and headed over to the right side, found a little bit of a seam, and gives him great field position at the 43.
As we've seen all year, Chris Paquette is a dangerous person when he gets his hands on the football. He likes to run after making catches. Thornton Academy sets up 1st and 10. I formation in the backfield. Goulet remains a tailback. Laveris, a big hole, pounds forward up the middle for a gain of 17. All right, Laveris opens up the second half with a nifty run over the left side behind the blocking of Jeff Fournier and Rick Topham. A nice run to the left side as he rambles off 17 yards.
Pomelo coming off the field on that play, holding his hand.
Scott Pomelo injured, the two-way star for Massabesic. That'll be a tough loss for them. 1st down and 10 now for the Trojans. I formation, handoff again, Laveris. He knifes his way through for a gain of about 3 on the play. And our friendly old PA announcer back at it again. That's going to be one of my biggest pet peeves. I can't say it enough times. It does bug me. There's no question about it. I think we ought to get a little scissors or knife and cut the wire. Shut him down.
16-0 over Connecticut. 2nd and 8 for the Trojans.
Pitch out to Goulet on the option. He's got some running room. A nice block out there by Steves. And he fights forward to the 25-yard line. That'll be enough for a Thornton Academy 1st down. A gain of about 11 on the play by Doug Goulet.
Trojan offense just exploiting the Mustangs. They're having their way with them all day long. And those holes, they're popping out there right now. You drive a truck through them.
And especially with Scott Pomelo out of the lineup. He's their deep man that makes all the key tackles. Yeah, he's out of the lineup. Injured wrist they're checking on now. Handoff Laveris, big hole on the left side. Laveris fighting. As he struggles forward to about the 19-yard line, a gain of about 6 on the play.
Hit first by Matt Howes, a 205-pounder for Massabesic, and he hit a good one on Art Laveris, but he found out he got carried a couple of yards.
And he comes off the field right now.
The Trojan fullback takes people with him.
2nd down and 4 for the Trojans. Dennis Steves and Tom Langstaff both split to the near side. I formation. Doug Goulet in at tailback position for Mike Babcock. We know it's his knee, but we don't know how severe the injury at this point. He walked off the field on his own power. Didn't look too bad. Handoff straight up the middle at Laveris behind Eric Sargent.
Into the 16-yard line.
And he should be close to a TA 1st down. He does. He gets the nod by the official.
On the 16-yard line.
And now we have some ground control. The Trojans running off some of the clock here, moving the ball at will. Another 1st down, and they're knocking on the door again.
Well, the Massabesic players look tired to open up the second half. They're having to take some big hits on both sides of the field. All right, Laveris running out to the right. Nice stiff arm move. Gets around Tracy Pomelo. No, Tracy, a nice job dragging him down. All right, Laveris with a nice stiff arm to just knock one player away. Looked like he was going to do the same to Tracy Pomelo, but Pomelo held on and brought Laveris down.
It's a rare sight indeed when one man, especially someone smaller than Art Laveris, comes up and brings him down. But some fine tackling that if you can grab on to any back, a fine tackle should be able to do the job. But Art Laveris was seeing 6 again.
Thornton Academy calls a timeout. I don't know why they had to, but for some reason, Tommy Langstaff now talking to Coach Agresti as Coach Agresti walks onto the field. And Art Laveris just knocking people away from him and actually knocked Tracy Parmo to the ground, but Tracy held on to the legs and brought Art Laveris down. Ball going to be resting at the 8-yard line.
Jeff Jerry is going to replace Art Laveris now at fullback.
Maybe that's why Langstaff called the timeout, because Laveris a little bit shaken up and wouldn't come out of the lineup, and Langstaff wanted him out. That's what it looked like. And Coach Agresti tells Art to take a little bit of a breather. Jeff Jerry comes in. We got a 2nd down and 3, ball at the 9-yard line. Trojans knocking on the door on their first possession of the second half. Big game today for University of Maine Black Bears. They play University of Connecticut, 7-0. Maine Black Bears, a lot of hype and publicity throughout the country. Mike Buck, the fine quarterback for UMaine, Jeff. This week they had ESPN and Sports Illustrated up to the campus of Orono, interviewing and taking pictures of Mike Buck.
Quite a distraction for the student athlete. The Bears are up 13-0 at last report.
Hand off Jeff Jerry. He gets his first chance at a run. Jeff Jerry was set to be the fullback for the Trojans this year before the transfer of Art Laveris. And he got a lot of running in last year on the state championship team. Jeff Jerry came in a lot of situations, carried the ball a lot. He's a fine player. Powerful. Outstanding middle linebacker. More than likely an all-state player this year.
It's a major toll on a fullback middle linebacker type of deal.
3rd down now in inches for the Trojans. Hand off Jeff Jerry. He fights, dives. Yes, Jeff Jerry. Touchdown, Trojans. Nifty run. Powerful running by Jeff Jerry. He gets in. Trojans go on top, 33-0. And
I can smell the end zone too.
They spread the offensive scoring around. 4 different people now having a touchdown for the Trojans. And in to do the kicking, Art Laveris. So I guess he's all right. And Kevin Goslin doing the holding for the Trojans as they line this one up. The snap's nice, the hold's down, the kick's up.
The kick is up and good by Art Laveris.
And it's good. Trojans 34, Mustangs 0. High school football on BTV. Back at Ronco Field in Waterboro, Jay Harper along with Jeff Harper. And the Trojans' second sustained drive of the afternoon, Jeff. They move the ball nicely down the field. 55-yard drive.
Yes, we mentioned at the half that the only time the Trojan offense was stalled was at the end of the half when they ran out of time. Still having their way with this Mustang defense. You can see why they've given up quite a few points previous games this year. Perhaps no matter how good their offense is, they'd still be 0-7.
Well, this year, the Trojans got a great backfield. There's no doubt about it. They got 3 backs who can all run the football hard, and 4 if you count Jeff Jerry in that, and Doug Goulet, who's a fine tailback too. So they got a lot of weapons in the backfield, but I can't say enough about the offensive line. They've done a great job all year, and especially last week against Marshwood, being able to push those big boys around. Fielded by Lambert, Dan Lambert again on the carry. And tackled right there by Doug Goulet and Tom Sharon. They bring him down at the 24-yard line. But last week, the offensive line was fired up, and they put some holes in that Marshwood defensive alignment, and they average about 230 pounds across the front. Thornton Academy has a fine offensive line.
Yes, they were firing off the ball very nicely last week from that offensive side. And a lot of these guys end up on the defensive side as well, and it has to really wear them down.
They got to be in great physical shape. Thornton Academy has 8 players going both ways. Split backfield, Conley. Pitch out to Lambert. Dan Lambert on the carry. He's going to lose 1.
Tackled at the line of scrimmage. Al Pelletier making a tackle for the Trojans.
Well, if they're really thinking about winning this football game, which any team should be thinking, and they're still early in the third quarter, no matter what they're down, they've got to come out and throw the football. They have not figured, the Trojan front line seems to have figured out that running play.
All right, Massabesic, second down 11 now. They send Vermette to the near side. Gannon, wide right. Conley drops back, fires over the middle, wide open. Boom! Doug Goulet takes his head off right where he catches the ball at the 27-yard line.
A fine stick by the safety out of that play, and that's what you want. The ball is caught out there. Make them pay for it.
Jim Neville on the reception, and he paid the price.
Doug Goulet coming back from the safety spot. He came up with this floor double. Gain of 4.
It's going to bring up third down now and 7 for Massabesic. Split backfield, Vermette to the near side. Tracy Pomelo wide right. Conley drops back, a little screen dump out. It's complete to Stevenson, but no gain on the play. Actually, a loss of about a yard. A very
Dave Fournier. Nice play by Fournier as he got out there. Took that flat pass right away.
Dave Fournier having an excellent afternoon on the defensive end once again. And he was all over that little flat pass. A very conservative third down call for Massabesic, and that puts him in punt formation. Porter doing the kicking. A nice booming end over end kick fielded by Langstaff. He fakes the handoff to Goulet. He's got a wall. He's got the wedge. A nice tackle by Dan Lambert as he just infiltrated the wall and hung out in there, then dove out at Tom Langstaff, bringing him down. If not, we would have seen a repeat of the Chevrolet game, and Tom Langstaff down the sideline with the wall.
Nice run. He takes the football and just goes right for that seam, and there was some room there, and it was a fine tackle that had to bring him down. And yes, he was off to the races.
Dan Lambert, number 30, just kind of hiding out in that wall. Got in with the Trojan players and just stood behind one of them, had his back to him, and then dove out at Langstaff and collared him and brought him down. Trojans take over, ball on their own 44-yard line. Jeff Jerry still in at fullback for the Trojans. Goslin on the option keeper. No siree, nothing doing there, as he's thrown for a loss of about 4 on the play.
Maybe the best defensive play of the game for Massabesic, as they had the pitch man covered. Goulet was not in the play, so to speak, because they had a man out there. So Goslin had to keep it, and he was corralled.
Eric Klein, number 40, making the stop for Massabesic. Massabesic has a couple of pair of brothers, Eric Klein and Jamie Klein, and the Pomelo brothers. Second down, handoff to Goulet. Nothing there either as Massabesic stiffens up the defense.
Well, we certainly haven't seen Thornton Academy run plays like that much this year. They use Goulet in a kind of a counter right out of the tailback heading into the line.
Babcock scored on that type of play, that same play right there. Early in the first quarter, though, they have started to use that in the latter part of the season. They used it against Portland a little bit, too. Thornton Academy facing a third down and 15. Goslin sends Langstaff and Steves wide left. Goulet comes in motion, and so does Chris Paquette. He comes in motion into the Massabesic defensive secondary. A tad too early, and he'll be whistled for a 5-yard offside penalty.
I wonder if his number was being called on that play, and he got a little jumpy and started downfield, looking for the football.
I would have to agree with you. He was anxious to get down there, no doubt about it, and that was the situation where you look for Paquette. He hasn't thrown to him all afternoon. He might sneak him out. 3rd and 19, fakes the handoff, got pressure, steps in front of it, lobs it down the field for Langstaff. Oh, Langstaff nips it along with Gannon Perry. Had Langstaff not slowed up just a bit, that would have been on target. A nice play by Goslin. He actually got that out there nicely, but Langstaff, reading the scrambling of Goslin, slowed up just a little bit to try to get open, and then continued on as Goslin threw the football.
Nice move by Goslin, yes. Tom slowed down out there, and had he been running straight through, we had 6 more maybe.
Tom Langstaff in to do his first punt of the afternoon. The Trojans, for the first time really, having to kick the ball away.
Tom Langstaff, number 22, getting ready to
The snap's
punch for
good.
the Trojans.
Langstaff, high, wobbly kick. Bounces deadly at the 35 and goes back, and it's down by Al Pelletier at the 41-yard line. Massabesic, the benefit of a poor TA bounce, and they'll take over at their own 41, first down and 10, trailing 34-0 to the Golden Trojans of Thornton Academy.
Yeah, Langstaff had to kick that into a slight breeze, and the breeze kind of got the best of it as it took a Massabesic bounce.
Conley sets up the offense. Split backfield with Vermette wide right. Conley rolls out, a little pass out to Gannon Perry, and he's taken down at the ankles by Tom Langstaff. Jeff Jerry out there along with Langstaff helping out.
Tom Langstaff taking the tackle.
Just a nice little square out there by Perry, and picks up about 8 yards.
From the Mustangs 48-yard line.
Clock winds, but we don't know how accurate it is. 3 minutes, 47 seconds. Clock being kept down on the field by the officials. We've noticed in the prior 2 quarters it's been off quite a few seconds when it winds down. Vermette comes to this side of the field. Split backfield. Tracy Pomelo in the slot position. Conley hands off straight ahead.
So the first down for the Mustangs.
John Basil on the carry for Massabesic, and that'll give the Mustangs a first down just inside Thornton Academy territory, all at the 49-yard line.
Makes me wonder at the psyche of the Mustangs. Do they sit down at halftime and say, yes, we can come back and win this game, and here's how we're going to do it? Or do they say, you know, well, we're outmatched, and we're going to come out and we're going to just play some football and have fun?
Play football and work on the things that you need to, you know, keep the offense balanced. First down and 10. Conley on the option keeper. Goes forward for about 1.
Past the line of scrimmage, pickup of about 1 yard.
Clay Conley, another interesting first name out of the quarterback slot. It's been kind of a weird thing all year. We've had different first names at quarterback, some interesting first names.
Yes, the Sanford quarterback.
No gain on the play. Second down and 10 from the
Yeah, what was his first name now? I know it was interesting, but I can't remember it. We've had some Joshes, and I forget his first name. It was a kind of weird one. Second down and 10 now for Massabesic. Straight off, handoff to Basil.
Fowler was his last name, right?
Breen, there you go, Jeff. Flag down on the play.
Al Pelletier and Guy Picard making the tackle.
Personal foul on the Trojans. Second time that's happened to him this afternoon. We had one last week, actually. Jeff Gordon, not a strange first name by any means, but spelt differently. G-E-O-F. Jeff Gordon, fine quarterback from Marshwood. Breens, Josh, now a Clay. You know the game's well in hand when we start talking about things like this, Jeff.
We're just searching for something.
First down and 10 on the personal foul against the Trojans. Gannon comes in motion. There was some offsides by Vermette not being called. Greg Parody has one go in and out of his hands. And visibly upset.
It's one of the defensive scores that I was looking for. He had it in front of him. He knows it. He slaps his helmet as he heads back to the huddle.
As I was talking about Mike Buck for UMO, ESPN Sports Illustrated is one of the top-rated quarterbacks in the country right now, actually the top-rated passer in the country. He hasn't thrown any interceptions all year, and Carl Smith, their fine sophomore tailback, was voted Offensive Player of the Week by Sports Illustrated this past week. Conley on the pass, thrown way inside, dove, caught, intercepted, Matt Cook. A nice play as he made up some ground and made a diving, sliding catch.
Matt Cook has a fine set of hands out there, and he has made some fine catches this year.
Made that big interception against Portland.
Yes.
The ball was rifled behind the receiver, and Matt Cook just reached up and hauled it in. And he had a big interception against Marshwood last week. That's his third interception of the year, I believe. Matt Cook. gotten burned a few times early.
Chevrolet.
Matt Cook, a fine interception. TA takes over their own 8-yard line. Art Lavera's back in the lineup.
We don't have the stats readily available, but we know that's at least the 3rd interception for the year for Matt Cook.
He's definitely
Nice
there.
catch on that one. A pass was poorly thrown.
Thrown way inside. As Gannon did a fly down the sideline, Clay Conley threw it way inside of him, and Matt Cook spotting the ball and going after, making a nice diving catch. And Matt Cook definitely the leading pickoff man on the TA defense. He'll be next year's likely starting quarterback, Matt Cook. Only a junior. Kevin Goslin, I formation, handoff Laveras. Laveras, not much doing.
Close to the 15-yard line. Pick up of about 2 yards.
I'd like to see Goslin get a little more passing in before he calls it a day. Have him throw the ball a few more times and try to get that arm and confidence in tune for next week's showdown.
Yes, maybe throw a few little decoy plays in to throw the Tiger scouts for a loop. Come out with a couple of different things to get him thinking.
Nothing like a Thornton Biddeford game next week. 3rd down, Goslin up throwing. He fires down the field. Steves just overthrown. Steves got his hands on it, but that was it.
Nice diving attempt by Steves, but yes, just off his fingertips.
Goslin just doesn't quite put enough touch on those passes, doesn't give it enough arch and let his receiver run the ball down. Like really lead your man, get it up there and let the receiver judge it with his speed. Appears to be the end of the 3rd quarter. We'll change ends of the field, take a break, and be back with the 4th and final quarter. Thornton Academy Golden Trojans leading the Massabesic Mustangs 34-0. You're watching high school football on BTV. Thornton Academy leading 34-0. 4th quarter about to start. Jay Harper along with Jeff Harper bringing you today's action.
4th down and 5. The Trojans about to punt for the 2nd time today. And as this becomes an eventual Trojan victory, the Mustangs look ahead next week to play Sanford as kind of a rivalry for them that has emerged over the past years. And of course, the Redskins have a chance to beat Lewiston tonight, although they are not favored to win that game in Lewiston. So next week would be a battle of the winless.
Battle of the Offers. That could be exciting. That would be a big game to see. And, first year in the league, Massabesic did beat Sanford in that rivalry that was just started. Fielded by number 31 for Massabesic. And wrapped up right there by Tom Sharon and Doug Goulet. Good field position, though, for Massabesic. They'll take over at the Trojan 41-yard line. And we don't have a number listed for number 31. The ghost of Mustang past.
As the Mustangs program here is missing a lot of the numbers that are out on the field.
Massabesic takes over. We have some substitutes in the TA defense.
1st down for the Mustangs on the Trojans 41-yard line.
Pitch out to Parmelo back in the lineup. Breaks one tackle, breaks another. Look out! He's on the sideline. Al Pelletier does a great job at diving at his legs and numbing him.
At the 32-yard line.
And Coach Stilfen from Massabesic trying to argue with the official how far Parmelo got down the sideline.
Yes, they said he stepped out before that hit, I believe.
Yeah, he did.
Al Pelletier says you're not going to stop the goose egg on this one. The starting defensive front there still wants that goose egg.
Number 80, Peter Fournier into the lineup for the Trojans. Toussaint, number 73, also in there.
Second and 2.
Tracy Pomelo goes in motion the other way. Pitch out to Stevenson. He's halfback out wide open as Pomelo. But the big rush of Jeff Jerry did not give Stevenson the time. Tracy Pomelo was wide open.
Well, Jeff Jerry certainly saved the touchdown on that one by putting a solid hit on that halfback option play.
And that was on a 2nd down and 1 play. A nice call by Massabesic. You wonder where some other plays like that might have been this afternoon.
Yeah, I used that play earlier because there was definitely 20 yards between the Trojan defense and the lone receiver.
3rd down now and 1. Massabesic trying to get some points on the board. Conley fakes the handoff, pitches out to Basil, but no, he's brought down behind the line of scrimmage by Dave Fournier. And he'll lose about a half a yard on the play. That'll bring up 4th down and 2 now for the hapless Mustangs.
Number 32, Sharon, making the tackle.
And unfortunate, a nice gambling call on 2nd down and 1, but now you might second guess it if they don't get the 1st down.
Well, it was there, and it should have been a touchdown. As far as anybody looking at it, you would think that the man was so wide open. It was a good call.
4th down now and 1. Tracy Pomelo comes out, split to the near side, lone coverage. Peter Fournier, he goes in motion now, back the other way. The pitch out to Pomelo this way. Dave Fournier there. Dave Fournier collars him at the 35, a loss of 2. And Massabesic will turn the ball back over to the Trojans. Another fine drive, thwarted right there. Dave Fournier, he's had some big plays all afternoon. A big defensive game for Dave Fournier. Last week's gutsy player of the game defensively. He's a strong candidate again this week.
Well, the Mustangs just can't seem to put together a complete drive. They've got some nice plays. They've had some ground. They've got some 1st downs, but the Trojan defense has been answering. When it finally comes down to whether they're going to get on the board or not, the Trojans come up with the big plays.
Matt Cook in at quarterback for the Trojans. Handoff straight up the middle. Dave Fournier, number 31, in at fullback for the Trojans. And he gains about 6 on the play. Nice straight up running.
Going up to the middle of the line. Pick up from about 4 yards before Matt Howes makes the tackle. 2nd and 4 from the 41.
Trojans doing the wholesale substituting in the 4th quarter, just like you thought, Jeff. Using the 3rd quarter to get another touchdown and now making the substitutions. Matt Cook, the quarterback, handoff to Fournier again. He fights forward for about 2. Kind of surprised to see Dave Fournier in there, though, because of the fact he's such a fine defensive player. Kind of surprised that Coach Agressi would risk injury and him carrying the football.
And he is a senior, and it's not building on next year, but then again,
he might have worked hard all year in practice and deserves some shot at the football. 3rd down now and 1 for the Trojans. Cook, handoff. Fournier again. He's got the 1st down. 3 carries, 11 yards.
He's showing some good drive out there. He heads right into the line and gets that yardage, picks up the 1st down. Those are his 12 yards on the books right now.
He's a powerful person. You see it on the defensive side all the time. His quickness and hitting ability. And he shows it to you on the offensive side now for the first time this year, getting some action at the fullback position. Number 12, Craig Agresti in the lineup. He comes to the near side. Matt Cook on the option. He can run. He cuts in. Yes, sirree. See you later. Bye. 20, 10, touchdown. Matt Cook, the junior. He's done it twice this year now. He went 55 yards against Sanford. He goes 55 yards here at Massabesic.
He likes that option keeper. He takes it in there and makes the cut, and he had a couple of men out there, and he cut right through nicely.
Boy, he jumped up, jumped his feet right up, and got right by that tackle. He's quick, and he doesn't waste any time. When he sees a hole, Jeff, that's one thing he does so good is that he sees a hole, puts the ball under his wing, and he's off. And that's promising for next year. Matt Cook, a junior, probably the starting quarterback next year. You definitely see his running ability. We have yet to see how he passes the football, but running the option and running the football, Matt Cook is excellent. And the Trojans break the 40-point barrier. They now lead 41-0. 8 minutes, 13 seconds left in the 4th quarter. You're watching high school football on BTV.
Thornton Academy extends their lead 41, Mustangs 0.
Back at Ronco Field in Waterboro, Matt Cook displaying his talents once again. He goes 55 yards on the option keeper. A nifty run. Set to kick off. Number 72 for the Trojans, Baker.
Number 72, Jay Baker, will be kicking off for the Trojans.
And a low, hard kick fielded by Basil. Basil hit hard by number 35 for the Trojans. Willett. But Basil ran right over him actually after the hard hit and gained another 4 yards. Gets it out to the 43-yard line where Massabesic will set up their offense.
Only a couple of Trojan starters out there for defense.
First down and 10 now for Massabesic. Clay Conley on the handoff. Dan Lambert gets the call. He picks up about 1 on the play.
At the 45-yard line. Guy Pickard making the tackle in the Mustangs.
And Matt Cook goes off the defensive side. Guy Pickard and Greg Parody. Wholesale substitutions for the Trojans. Good chance for these youngsters to get some playing time, experience, and be out on the field. They've worked hard all year in the practice sessions. And now getting their shot on the defensive side. Conley back to pass, a big rush as he's nailed in the backfield.
Some hungry Trojans right in there on the play. Put the hit on.
Jeff DeRocher, number 45, in on that play, along with Shea Demons, number 83. Big hit on Clay Conley.
Conley let go of that ball and very dangerously.
Shea Demons, number 83, playing at middle linebacker. Along with DeRocher, they're the middle linebackers. They had a blitz on that time. Clay Conley getting hit hard, just able to get it off. He drops back again. Some pressure, fires to the middle of the field. Number 30 for the Trojans in on the coverage, Danny Raymond. He had a chance for an interception, had nice coverage, and Clay Conley had some heavy pressure on him again. Number 64 went in there aggressively, Steve Raymond. And he knocked the blocker out of the way and was all over Clay Conley.
Just not enough on that pass, or it would have been picked off. Pass that fell weakly in front of Raymond.
And the second stringers for the Trojans on the defense, showing the best defensive series in this contest. 3 aggressive plays. Boy, they came out to play. Raymond receives it, number 30. Wrestled right down by John Basil at the 30-yard line.
John Basil making the tackle at the 29-yard line.
Tom Sharon limps off the field, number 32.
Takes over on their own 29, first and 10.
Thornton Academy leading this one, 41-0. Approximately 6.5 minutes left. Trojans will move on to 5-3. Massabesic will fall to 0-8.
That the concession stand will remain open after the game for your convenience. Please support our boosters.
Craig Agresti split to this side, handoff back the other way. Dave Fournier on the carry.
Center of the line.
Peter Fournier and Craig Agresti both lined up to the near side of the field. Cook handing off the other way. As we shuffle and try to get all the players' names correct and who's into the lineup. Jay Lowe and Craig Agresti both split to this side of the field. I formation in the backfield. Cook, the quarterback, handoff to the deep back, number 26 for the Trojans. Brian Bussenol on the carry, and he gains about 1 on the play, maybe 2. And that'll bring up 3rd down and a long 3 for the Trojans.
Well, Massabesic plays next week on a Friday night. Strange end of the year, last game of the season, Friday night at Sanford.
Boy, they're playing Friday nights late in the season. They're risking some real cold weather. Handoff, Fournier. Fights forward up the middle, gains about 10 on the play, and a TA first down. Nice run by Dave Fournier.
An offensive barrage for the Trojans today. They needed this workout.
And that'll bring up another first down for the Trojans. Timeout down on the field. Chance for us to thank all our sponsors. Wagner's Market in Saco, sponsor of the Gutsy Player of the Game. We will be picking them at the conclusion of today's contest. A lot of candidates this afternoon. Everyone having a fine afternoon up in Waterboro. Gulfside Cafeteria and Lounge on the Ocean Park Road in Saco. They have big screen TV, cathedral ceiling, a nice lounge, great place to watch Monday Night Football. And next week after Biddeford's contest, I hear there's a lot going on down there. So next week after the Biddeford game, you're looking for a place to relax and have a cold one, a bite to eat. Gulfside Cafeteria and Lounge, Ocean Park Road in Saco. McKinney and Stetson Foundations of Saco. The Caraman Pub and Family Restaurant, Route 1, Saco. Saco and Biddeford Savings Institution, Saco and Double OB. Rolnick Chiropractic Center of Biddeford. Coastal Tire and Automotive Center of Biddeford. Grady's Radio of Old Orchard Beach. Parquet Builder Contractor of Saco. First down now and 10 for Thornton Academy. Cook, handoff to the fullback. Fighting forward.
Number 46, Guy Picard, carrying the ball out to the Mustang, 49-yard line. Pickup of about 5 yards.
That'll bring up second down and 5 for the Trojans. Continuing on to all our fine sponsors. We do want to thank them. New Care Family Health Center of Old Orchard Beach, Mariner Realty of Saco, the Brunswick Oceanside Pub and Lounge at the Brunswick in Old Orchard Beach. Cook on the handoff, number 40 on the carry for the Trojans. Jason Buddha seeing the football. We'll bring up third down and 3 now for the Trojans. Clock winds, 4 minutes, 15 seconds left. And our last two sponsors, Tangerines Records, Route 1 in Scarborough at the new Scarborough Marketplace, just a quarter-mile south of Kmart. And Dick and Ben's of Biddeford. Cook, the deep handoff to the tailback. Brian Harrell, number 29 on the carry for the Trojans. And that'll bring up fourth down and a short one. And at quarterback now for the Trojans, Kevin Gobiel. And Coach Agresti opting to punt, it looks like in this situation. Fourth down and inches, ball at the 45-yard line of Massabesic. But once again, thanks to all our sponsors that I just ran through. We appreciate it, and we urge you to frequent these fine establishments. Buy all your needs and feeds at these places. Thornton Academy, an impressive afternoon at Ronco Field. Oh, a high wobbly snap, but he gets it off. A bounding kick gets a nice bounce for the Trojans, fielded by Lambert. He roams out to about the 14-yard line. A high wobbly kick, a real slow one. And Scott.
Well, they ran into the kicker on the play. It wasn't. They didn't knock him down, but they ran into him, and the flag. He drew the flag for roughing the kicker.
Scott Chasey. He in to do the punting for Tom Langstaff, and did a nice job at fielding that one and getting it off, and he got knocked into. And the flag down, and the Trojans will keep the football. And good shot for them to keep this a goose egg on the board for them. The Trojans looking for a shutout. Kevin Gobiel doing the quarterbacking for the Trojans. Ryan Harrell, the tailback. Jason Buda, number 40, the fullback. He gets the football and gets met by a host of Mustang players, brought down for a gain of about 1. And the continuing shuttling of players by Coach Agresti, trying to get everyone into the lineup, and that's great to see.
Second down and a long 10 for the Thornton Academy Trojans.
Clock approximately 2 minutes and 48 seconds left.
Kevin Gobiel at quarterback now. He'd like to get some points on the boards for his part.
Second and a long 10 for the Trojans at the...
Brad Dexter comes split out to the near side. Harrell in the backfield. At the tailback position, Craig Agresti lined up to the far side of the field. Handoff up the middle to the fullback. Number 36 fighting forward. Right up the middle, a gain of about 25 on the play. George Samaras, the carry for the Trojans. Number 36, a 5'4", 125-pound sophomore.
Well, that's what he's listed at, but he ran quick and hard on that play.
Nice.
Doesn't look like a 125-pounder to me, but he can hide a lot, I guess, under those big pads.
He ran right up the gut of the middle. A nice run by Samaras. He gained about 25 on the play. That's going to bring up a first down and goal to go for the Trojans at the 6-yard line, looking to add to their already astronomical lead of 41-0. Gobiel, handoff to the fullback. Samaras, he's in. Touchdown, George Samaras, a 5'4" sophomore, rambles in for a 6-yard touchdown run. Trojans 47, the hapless Mustangs nothing.
You gotta like the determination in the young fullback coming right in there and says, "I want to score." Goes right for it.
He gained 31 yards on those 2 runs, 25 and 6, and in to attempt the point after. Number 72, Jeff Baker.
Got blocked.
Got blocked. Jeff Baker attempting the PAT. And Trojans leading 47-0. And everybody getting in on this afternoon of big plays and offensive arsenal for the Trojans. Yet another TA player getting a touchdown. George Samaras, Matt Cook, Jeff Jerry, Tom Langstaff, Art Laveris, and the first 2 by Mike Babcock to run down the TA scoring here at Ronco Field in Waterboro. Trojans enjoying this one after losing the last 2 weeks. Number 10 doing the kicking for the Trojans, Guy Langelier. Basil gets the football and gets it out to the 41-yard line, where they'll take over probably their last chance to put points on the board. And the Trojans doing wholesale substitution. Looks like they got about 20 players on the field right now. They're going to have to get a few off. 2 or 3, 4, yes, there they go. That's one of the toughest things when you get into that bench and go so deep into it, keep shoveling players to get the right people on and off. Number 15, Billy Hewitt, the safety for the Trojans, along with number 35 here on this side of the field. That's 38. Stevenson being brought down by number 24 for the Trojans, Phil Fournier. Trojans got 4 different Fourniers on their team. Phil Fournier, number 24, making the stop.
Well, Mustangs still using a lot of their starters out there. Conley, the quarterback, still starting, and a couple of their starting backs. But as the Trojan defenders get deep in there, they're still showing that they are very hungry and they want to get out there and put some hits on.
That's number 38, Mike Campbell, in the defensive secondary on this side. Got sole coverage out here. Conley on the option keeper, keeps the football, jumps inside, number 15. Billy Hewitt coming up out of his safety position, making a nice hit on Conley, bringing him down, a gain of about 4 on the play. And that'll bring up 3rd down and 5 for the Trojans.
They do have other quarterbacks that are underclassmen listed on this Mustang squad, but evidently they want to...
Conley only a sophomore. You know, he's their quarterback of the future. 3rd down now and 5 for Massabesic. Option, Conley trying to pitch it out, and he does. Being met there by number 50, and Billy Hewitt, number 15, another hard hit, along with number 66 for the Trojans.
Less than a minute to go, and it's still out there popping. Good to see this backup squad come out there hungry.
Billy Hewitt along with Scott Chassie making the hard hit on the pitch man. Conley was hit as he was trying to pitch it and got away and still was able to get it out to Stevenson. 4th down and 1 now for Massabesic. Conley on the keeper, pitches back. And he's going to lose the first down. He had the first down easy if he just would have kept the football. He pitches it back 3 yards wide of his pitch man, goes out of bounds, and the Trojans will take over at the 49-yard line of Massabesic.
Sophomore mistake, yeah. He's just not thinking of the first down. He's probably thinking downfield, and maybe that if he could make that pitch that they had something going that way, but turns out to be a mistake.
One of Conley's few poor reads of the afternoon. He's done a nice job at running the option. But late in this game, really meaning nothing except the chance of getting on the scoreboard. But he had the first down easily all by himself and threw it out of bounds 2 yards back, and they lost the first down. Samaras again on the carry.
He looks tough.
He sure does. You list him at 5'4", and looking at the rest of the players, he is shorter than everybody else down there. So,
but how do you get 125 pounds into the line like that? Impressive.
He does a good job. It's really good to see these young kids and see some of the talent of the future. And Thornton Academy coming on the field, and that's going to wrap this one up. The Thornton Academy Golden Trojans having a field day at Ronco Field, beating the hapless Mustangs 47-0. You're watching high school football on BTV Sports. We'll be right back to wrap this one up.
University of Connecticut, 23-8.
They beat him.
How many different players scored? How many touchdowns they have? 7? 6. 7. 6 different players scoring.
6
okay.
touchdowns.
6 touchdowns. No, 7.
7 touchdowns.
7 touchdowns, 6 different players scored because Babcock got 2. Back at Ronco Field in Waterboro, Jeff Harper and Jeff Harper, Thornton Academy enjoying their finest game of the season, especially on the offensive end. And as far as the defense, no points on the board for Massabesic, so you can't say anything bad about that either. What an exciting afternoon, Jeff. 7 touchdowns for the Trojans, 6 different players getting them, and we had a display of long touchdown plays for the Trojans today. We had runs of 76, 71, 55, 60. The list goes on and on. Just a fine afternoon for all the Trojan people, all the players getting into the lineup. Just a great afternoon for Coach Agresti's squad.
Get to show some early speed by the offense. Really, Trojans having their way with Massabesic all day long, and at the end of the game we get to see some of the people that we haven't seen all year come out and show that they like to play football too, and they went right at it, and we saw some scoring by them as well. A nice run by Matt Cook, the second string quarterback, did a fine job. The defense showing some early holes, but generally they held them all day long, did a fine job when all is said and done. So that sets the stage for next week, the must-win situation against the Tigers. They've got them at home. They've got the situation in their own hands.
Like we said, more than likely we're assuming that Poland, of course you hate to do that, but Poland will lose to Marshwood today, and that will set up the Trojans. If they beat Biddeford, they'll be in the playoffs. So the Trojans still have that big shot next week against the Tigers. It's going to be a major game, a major contest. There's going to be thousands and thousands of players. There's nothing like a Biddeford-Thornton game. You played in 2 or 3 of them. I have, and it's just the most exciting thing to conclude your season playing your arch rival, all the fans, all the glory, and even if you don't make the playoffs, to beat your arch rival, that makes your season right there.
Yes, and last year the defending state champion Golden Trojans may have had a favor done by them when the Tigers beat them at Waterhouse Field. They kind of woke them up and got them. It seemed like after that they were unstoppable. They came around against Lewiston and pulled the game out of the fire and went on to win the state championship. And this year it's on the other foot. It's a must-win situation. The Tigers are coming in very strong. The Tigers are looking at a playoff spot no matter what.
Right.
They've got their position pretty much locked in. So the Trojans can come out and play hard football and at least get some postseason action, hopefully.
Thornton Academy definitely owes Biddeford a couple, losing last year to them. They only lost the season. And the year before, it looked like they had one in hand late in the game, upsetting Biddeford, and the Tigers came back and beat the Trojans by a point. So they've lost the last 2 years to the Tigers. They got some revenge factor in their corner, and also the big game and the shot at the playoffs. So next week's action looks to be big. This week's gutsy players of the game, I mean, it's just so hard to pick. We had so many fine performances, second stringers, third string, everyone playing excellent football here this afternoon, but the way it just seemed to turn out, Mike Babcock's 2 long touchdown runs, you can't deny him that. He went 76 yards and 60 yards, the first 2 possessions for the Trojans, the second play of each series. Got to give him that on the offensive end. He just had a fine afternoon. We've been waiting for him to have that big afternoon, and had he not got hurt, he might have amassed 200, maybe 300 yards here today with his speed and running abilities and the holes that the Trojans were opening up. He went out late in the first quarter with a knee injury. We're not sure on that. Hopefully he'll be all right for next week's action. But he gets it on the offensive side, as he did last week. We gave it to him. And on the defensive side, Dave Fournier, again, very, very impressive. I saw him make a lot of big plays. Jeff Jerry was strong too, along with Al Pelletier, but Dave Fournier just seemed to show up a little bit more. We're going to give it to the same two players, Dave Fournier and Mike Babcock, last week's winners. They get it, sponsored by Wagner's Market, 188 Lincoln Street in Saco. You go over there and get yourself a nice big sandwich, guys. It is excellent. We've had them. Jay Harper for Jeff Harper saying so long here from Ronco Field. Have yourself a good week, people. We'll see you next week. Tigers, Trojans.